I'm looking at a pattern where I feel really stuck, and I'm always justifying to myself why it's okay to keep trying to force some kind of progress. It feels like there's a confusion where maybe the needs behind the pattern are real, and it would be healthy for the system if there was some resolution. But how I look at it has a powerful seeking energy. It's exhausting, but maybe it's good to let the seeking energy get exhausted, right? Any helpful hints or intuition, welcome. Yeah, everything you do is right. You can't go wrong. You couldn't do it any other way. So whatever thoughts come up or whatever feelings come up, in order to respond to it, is absolutely perfection. But it's also perfection, me offering some words and you listening to it, and just know that that's a description of what can happen. It's not a prescription, because who would I prescribe to? It's just something that can happen. I speak and then that can be followed. But it's nobody following it. Isn't it miraculous? It's so sweet, this life. It's all happening. It's all happening without you. So the seeking energy to me would be this, like, so naturally our bodies move away from pain into pleasure. So naturally your body wants to resolve something that's painful. That's a very natural feeling. But then on top of that, a seeking energy can form when it believes that that is the source of your disconnection from oneness. It's not conscious thought, but feeling that that is what's keeping you away from contentment and from fulfillment, where it's not. That which is experiencing that dynamic is your wholeness, is your fulfillment, is what you're truly looking for, not that dynamic. So that can make it extra intense. But it's natural you want to resolve things that come up. And all of our systems are going to have thoughts and feelings that are painful. So we're going to interpret someone's behavior as rude or as an attack or as hateful or as dishonest. And it's important we can do that, otherwise we'll end up being completely without boundaries, and more than likely will attract all the suckers. Like they'll be like when they realize that you've got no boundaries. So it's important that you can establish these things and have those thoughts. When we're into non-duality and we're unpicking stuff, we have this idea that one day we're going to get to a place where we don't have boundaries with people, where we don't see that they're doing something nasty. Like if you point out that they're doing something nasty in the spiritual world, it's like that's a thought, that's an illusion, that's not true. It is important that we can define these things. I was so conditioned in spirituality to let go of these thoughts of someone being nasty or someone being inappropriate, and seeing it as illusion and seeing it as mind-made. Ultimately, everything's mind-made. But why is it that we can interpret something as beautiful in the spiritual world and not something that's ugly? Like, it's both part of our experience. We need to identify situations and people that are difficult in order to avoid them and move around from them. And often when we get conditioned, in spirituality, we get conditioned to ignore this, and it's just mind and it's a bad thing and it's got to go away. Often because the pain produces lots of seeking. So often when people are looking, so you realize that someone's been dishonest to you, and it produces a lot of past pain. Other times you've been conned, and that's painful, and then it produces lots of seeking, so it makes it kind of go crazy. But it's super important that you can distinguish. So I don't know what's happening to you in your life, but if it's with someone else, when you can distinguish something's inappropriate, and you can own that feeling, you can see that I've had people dishonest to me a lot, and it hurts, and really allow that feeling and that memory of the past, when it's hurt in the past, to come up, and not see it as something that you have to get rid of. See it as something that's part of being human. We get conditioned. Khaleesi is conditioned to be afraid of me when I carry objects, large objects, because I've dropped so many on her, and I smashed so many things. I'm dyslexic and maybe a bit dyspraxic, which is, yeah. And I just knock over, I fall over, I drop things a lot. And so Khaleesi sees me pick something up, and she's like, and that's good that she has that. She realizes that I'm not always stable on my feet, and she is aware of where I'm going to fall and what I'm going to break and what's going to hurt her. and that's important. And it's important for us to see this person is being dishonest, this person is being inappropriate. It is ultimately all illusion, because everything is illusion. Like the trees are illusion. Everything is a projection of the brain. The way you see the trees, the way you see color, the way you see light, the way you see form, it's all a production of the brain. And it's not like we're trying to erase the brain from seeing the couch, because the couch is illusion as well, everything. But we tend to think that the brain's got to stop seeing all things that are negative. So you analyze, like, what is the initial thought, and give it space. You know, am I being reasonable here, or am I being triggered by past pain? Is this person really being dishonest, or is it past pain? And with me, you know, you don't always know, so you just hold both of them and you say they might be being dishonest. My intuition is it could be past pain, and then you feel that pain in your body. And then you look to what the resolution is of the situation. You can ask them, you can speak about it, blah, blah, blah. And maybe you get into a little bit of an argument about it, like they're upset, like, how dare you see me like this, or whatever. But you just try to stay simple with it. And then you see the seeking element of it, the seeking where it's so unbearable to feel these past times that you've been lied to. It's so unbearable to feel being lied to. It makes you feel very vulnerable, very scared, but you can't bear to feel that. So you're seeking desperately just to get rid of it, to get them to be honest, to force them into truth, to punish them, to whatever it is, to get revenge, etc. So my advice would be to feel the feelings and feel the root of it, and just let it be there, and know that life will let it pass when it's ready to let it pass. You can do chakra breathing exercise. You can do, you know, when you've got tense feelings going on, you can do sound meditation, which helps you bring out these things. So I'll tell you what it's called. You can find it on my website under references, but it's Osho chakra meditation. I think it's under references. And this is like a Osho chakra breathing meditation, and this is great for getting feelings and thoughts to pass through the body. And then seeing that that's not who you are. That's the most important bit. That is not who you are. And there's no shame in having the feeling. There's no blame. You're not unenlightened. You've not arrived. You're just having a feeling. And then there's a part of you that really doesn't want to feel it.